Feeling bad? Got some news that'll make you glad. You don't have to stay that way. Don't care what they say or say. Turn them off. Turn on music.
Morning, Crystal.
Oh, hi.
In your spirit, there's no need to fear it. Just hear it.
That's my new favorite place in the world.
Ohio?
I didn't see very much of it, but the spots that I seen were beautiful.
Sometimes you only got to see that one special place, eh?
Just let it fill your soul.
Afternoon, Crystal.
How's it going? You got a little muck sticky going, and then we'll be going.
I don't know if you remember or not, but when the music's playing, I can't hear a word you're saying.
I know.
Music for centuries been used to put the soul
Already guidelines. Kelly Collins, Fable in. I love you guys.
How you doing, Fable? How's it going, Kelly? How's everybody today? Lunchtime. Did you get rested up there after your big weekend yesterday? Guidelines already, Fable.
Just hear it into the groove. Resist the urge to move. You ain't got nothing to prove. Just let it sink your souls.
And how do you feel about that going back to work today? Were you ready?
Hit the day. What's up?
Good afternoon or good morning, depending on
Welcome
wherever
in,
you are.
everybody. Good afternoon. We're jamming out right now. The Muck Sticky's new one. Get down.
Nice. That's it. You got to remind us old folks, eh? We tend to forget from time to time.
Are you calling Dr.High the old man? That's not nice.
Technically, I am.
I resemble that remark.
Uh-huh. Morning, Garrett. How are you today? Like that little video you sent me. Was that you?
Sick of our show. Come on down. Please, everybody, share it out. Tell your friends it's time to hang with the hippie and DoktorHigh. Here we go, DoktorHigh. You ready?
4?
We're going live.
Oh, I think we already did. 4 minutes ago.
WTHC. Good morning. Good afternoon. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome in, everybody. Hi, DoktorHigh.
Good morning, afternoon, good day.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like screwed up because it's like all times of the day right now, everywhere.
Yeah.
Like our friend Steve is pretty much supposed to be sleeping right now in bed, but he gets up and comes on at like 1 o'clock in the morning here.
He does.
To hang with us because he wants to know what's the word on weed.
What's the word on the street when it comes to the weed?
Yeah. So today is not Monday in any way.
No, it's not Monday in any way. I think it might be Wednesday.
Just to let you guys know. But usually I send in photos from my friend who has a very beautiful plant growing, and DoktorHigh helps him when we look at it. I don't know if the photos are very lifelike.
Well, we better see the real thing.
Well, is it time? Is it time right now? I mean, should we we bust her out because, my God, she's huge. I don't know if I can even move her anymore. She might have to stay stable soon.
You're gonna have to get a bud cam that you can set up there so we can watch it grow.
And then we can have it in a box and we can just let it grow all the time.
Yep. We can actually do a 15-minute segment every day where we smoke a joint and everybody just watches your plant grow.
Yes, that would be great. Right.
Yeah.
Or we could watch it while the commercials are playing.
True.
Right? We just focus in on the plant and watch.
And the first one that spots the activity wins a prize.
Right. Right.
You know?
I love that idea. I love that.
that
Welcome in, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Please share it out. Make sure you tell everybody we're here. We're here for you. We want to be here to help you guys. So if you have any questions about marijuana, or makes me feel like guana, man. Anyway, yeah, so we're here. That's the plan, and I'm going to show my friend's plant. He brought it over. He grows it here illegally in Pennsylvania.
Nice.
But he brings it over every morning to let me see it. That dumbass.
That's a good friend who does that.
Yep. Very cool. You should tell people about the contest. All right, I will. There's a contest. I don't know what the rules are to this contest. Well, I know some of them, I guess. Fable Ann on Facebook. I think it was on Facebook, right? It was on Facebook. Yeah, on Facebook, she posted a picture of Muck Sticky, and it's got like a big, beautiful background, and it's just him kind of standing in the middle. And she wants to have everybody decorate it with the scariest Halloween stuff, I think it said, or spooky Halloween stuff around Muck Sticky, and the winner is going to win a prize. Winner's going to win a prize. So go check that out. Halloween, yeah, it's all about Halloween. Halloween starting. She made a picture of me. Did you see the picture of me out there yet? Oh my God, she's such a
no.
She took my head, my human head, the big guy over here, his head, and she turned it into a pumpkin and put it in a pumpkin patch. And she said, when the skull dries out, she's keeping it for herself.
Oh,
so
that's
she can
funny.
paint it and decorate it because I got a big head. She said, I got a big head.
That's kind of crazy, right? Like I seen this year and I never saw it before. People that use molds, and they take these molds and they screw them together. And when the pumpkin grows or when the squash grows or whatever they put this mold around, this bloom, it grows into the shape of the inside of the mold. So I've seen like Donald Trump's head. I've seen other various celebrity heads in these hard plastic molds. And then when the fruit is fully grown, they undo the screws, pull the mold apart, and then you got this fruit that has the appearance of an individual. It's pretty crazy. So pumpkin head, I can imagine.
Kind of like a reverse chia.
Yeah, kind of, because it just prevents it from growing any further, right? Once it reaches the inside.
We've got a couple questions over here in the crowds. First of all, the secret word is shamalama ding dong. Shamalama ding dong. So if you're
it has to be spelled correctly.
Nope. If you're up in the New Brunswick, Canada area, and you come in and you say you heard shamalama ding dong on the radio today, then you get a free pre-roll.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I think that's what the rules were. So
I'm telling you, they better be careful over there, right? Because they're going to end up with a rush.
Yeah,
I'm sure we have a huge viewership in New Brunswick, and they might need to have extra staff on call.
I'm starting to get actually they just relieved another employee of their services, I heard. So Pothead will be working a lot more over there, which is good because she's a professional. She's a professional. Yeah, they were this person. Rumor has it they're innocent until proven guilty. But rumor has it they may or may not have been helping themselves to stuff.
Right. Which is kind of silly, right? Because I'm sure that
the boss is a wonderful guy who gives stuff to them on a regular. So why fight the hand that feeds you?
And I think it's a really important part of working in a dispensary environment is that you really do get to try the products and you get to try basically across the product line because, it's funny, but when you close sales, you don't close sales because of the information you know. You don't say, "Oh, this is Super Lemon Haze, and it's 23% THC, and it's got 1.6% limonene, and it's got 0.03% beta caryophyllene, and this little bit of pinene, and it's got some CBD." That's not how you close sales, right? You close sales because people have questions, and they're looking for answers. And if you've used the product, then you have the answers because you've lived the experience. And that's nothing better than being able to give a customer your experience with that product. Now, sometimes it's a shame. And my boss used to get mad at me for this when I worked at Inhale Nation in the
I
wholesale.
was
of
too
all the
honest.
accessories.
My boss used to get mad at me because I was too honest. Being in food service,
Yeah,
I'd be like, they'd come up and they'd be like, "Is the chili good?" And I'd be like, "No." I mean, it's as good
yeah,
as it
no,
can.
yeah.
It's as
And it
good as
was,
it can be because it was yesterday's meatloaf. And my boss would be
yeah,
like, "Shut the fuck up! Stop telling them it was yesterday's meatloaf." And I'd be like, "I'm not gonna lie to them. They need to
yeah,
know.
well, that's it, right?
They
And for
need to
me,
know."
because I was selling to businesses that were selling to customers. So this was wholesale. So it was business to business, right? And we'd get new products in. And of course, the boss would like to see them go. And I tried everything I could, right? Any device or whatever that came in, I gave it a shot. Unless it was just a glass pipe or a bong or something. There's no need because they're all the same thing, right? But new vaporizers and new little grinders and stuff like that, stuff that would have a little bit differences in technology or price or whatever. So some product I didn't like. I just didn't like it. I didn't find it was effective or good quality. And then, because not only is it our reputation, but it's the reputation of that store that's going to sell it to the customer who could lose a customer if they sell them a product that the customer doesn't like.
It's all about
So,
customer service. I feel, if you are
yeah,
gonna be in that industry of selling, you need to give 110%
yeah.
to that each and every customer, one by one.
Well, you got to know your product, right? So
Right.
when you work in a dispensary, I'm sure, especially dispensaries like Taylor Herbs and Concentrates, because of where it operates, they have a lot more freedom to work with the product than, let's say, if you work in um, a dispensary that's in downtown Toronto or Montreal, or that's part of the legal distribution network, or the Health Canada distribution network, let's say. So they can't really give their product to their employees to try.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because you can't. The product has to be accounted for because of the tax stickers and everything else. But on the First Nations territories, they have the ability to allow that to happen. So it makes sense that you should. So why would an employee ever need to take advantage of their situation in the business to liberate product for themselves?
Right.
I mean, it's just completely unethical, number one, but it's really stupid, number two, also. You know what I mean? If that's something that somebody does, then they're a fool and they don't deserve to have that position because it's an important job, right? Working at a dispensary, because you're the point of contact for people who don't have cannabis knowledge necessarily, or don't know because you have so many products, right? Like the dispensary I go to out here, they might have 40 different strains available on any given day. Maybe 30 different vape pens, 22 kinds of hash, edibles like you can't imagine. So,
Right.
how does a customer make a good decision when they're there, when
A
they're looking for something that works
an
for them, right?
educated decision, right. You can't,
Right.
and that's right back to the same thing. When I went to the dispensary, now this is almost 6 years ago, I guess, because this is my 5th or 6th card right now. Um, what the first time I walked in and they were like, "You need to sit down and hang out with the pharmacist for a while." And I was like, this is gonna be good. I'll be able to talk to him. And he was like, "Yeah, sign this paper. You have any questions?" And I said, "Yeah, I mean, what's the deal?" And he said, "Yeah, you just look at the board and buy what you want." And then he walked away. And I was like, "Oh, all right, cool. Thanks. Thanks for the talk. Thanks for walking me through it." So then I went up with no knowledge and said, "I have this much money. Give me the good stuff. You guys know what's going on. You guys are the ones back there." And that was my way of learning that, this is not the way to do it. Obviously, don't do it, because I get so much better stuff now when I go in knowing what I'm talking about.
Well, because they have to move product that's not popular too, right? And they don't necessarily know
They
that
don't have
product
to
is
move
not
it to
popular.
me, though. Good
Well,
morning, Douglas.
they shouldn't do that, but they will take advantage of people who are less knowledgeable to move slower moving product, right? Because if these people don't know any better, then they're not going to know any better kind of
That's why we're
situation, right?
here.
And that's why I always say you got to be an educated consumer when you're dealing with cannabis. Now, although it's very difficult sometimes because in your dispensaries, as in the Health Canada governed dispensaries in Canada, you can't see the product, you can't smell the product, you can't touch the product, you don't have any idea outside of what's labeled, right? The packages aren't see-through. So you're at the mercy of labeling, or you're at the blessing of the dispensary employees that know their products, because if you're asking the right questions and they can give you the answers and you can kind of work your way through it, you're still going to miss out sometimes, or sometimes you're going to get a huge surprise. But for the most part, you'll end up getting better product for yourself.
Shout out to my dealers at Apothecarium.
The Apothecarium.
That's what I said. They're beautiful. Best looking dealers I've ever had in my entire life. Usually it's a weird looking dude with a half a tooth handing me a bag of weed. Now I got
the community has all kinds of people.
I have beautiful women selling me weed. It's beautiful. And they're very generous. I mean, they're not, they have to buy, though. That's horrible that they have to buy as well. You would think that that would be a perk working there. You know, you get your medicine for free.
Well, I think it would be a very important part of the education of your employees process, right?
Right.
Because as a dispensary owner,
you're a grower.
Right. If you own the dispensary, you should know more than your employees do.
Good afternoon.
Right? By the nature of owning a business, you should be the most knowledgeable guy in the room when it comes to cannabis, you know, and your products. And if you don't expose your employees to your product line, then how are they ever going to make sure that your customers get the correct product?
Right.
It's not going to happen properly, you know?
So from what I understand, my friends that sell me good medicine, they have to buy it themselves and then they try it. You know, they buy it if they are interested in it. You know, so sometimes they're like, "Nah, I never had this one. I really don't know. I can only tell you what's here on the wrapper." You know, and then sometimes they're like, "Yo, I had this yesterday. This shit's the bomb," or "Yo, this shit's not so good. Don't get this one." And they're actually some of them are pretty honest. I mean, I think they're honest. They're like, "Yo, no, you don't want that one.
Yeah.
It's kind of dry. It's kind of crusty."
Yeah.
You know, and
well, packaging date is
to
kind of
me,
something
I feel like it's to me personally, but I'm sure they do it to a lot of other people as well. You know, like, but when I walk in, they respect me because I got gray hair and a tie dye. They're like, "This guy knows how to smoke weed." Anyway, it is 12:18.
No, but I mean, we can all get stumped, right? Like even me, when I'm buying in the same environment like you do, where you can't see the product, you can't smell it, you can't touch it, you can't really have anything to do with it.
Horrible.
Even I get beat. So I just worked around and figured out the parameters that were the most important. I figured to ensure that you got a decent fresh product, and that was nothing more than 60 days packaging. Right? The packaging date had to be within 60 days. But even that doesn't guarantee a good product, because maybe the guy running the dry room at the producer was off his game and let that go an extra day. Or maybe
he had diarrhea and he wasn't
right. Maybe he didn't take into consideration that you got to remove the smaller buds from a dry room before you remove all your colas, because the smaller buds are ready before the big buds are ready. You know what I mean? So you have to work in stages like that, which is more work. But so what? Because the product is the important thing at the end of the day, not the amount of work you got to do, or it should be.
Big buds. It's 420.
Let's go.
Happy 420 to everybody. Calligraphy with THC.
Hey, it's Bill Schmidt Jr., a.k.a. Billy Blaze, a.k.a. 420 Kid of the Holistic Cloud. R.I.P. to my man Derek Crump. I want to give a shout out to Calligraphy, my dude Means, little homie Manuel Noriega, Big Just.
Oh yeah, I haven't stopped thinking about it. I think I had dreams about OBDJ last night. I had like visions because I definitely want to talk about some people that I didn't shout out yesterday that I should have shouted out yesterday.
Screaming loud, still smoking, having nice dreams. So when they ask me how first smoke a lot, doctor said I need a backiotomy. Prescribe me huckleberry and lemon cherry gelato. Get back to rolling in the optimal, blowing smoke out my nose, dropping ashes on my clothes till I doze off. I'm so fried, no lie, got you afraid, scared to look down, you so high. Cause when I spit that shit, it's like I lit that shit in the crowd, wrap you around and let you hit that shit.
Billy Black. There's Superman himself.
Oh. Morning, Billy. How are you? Afternoon, I guess. Can't keep track of the time. How's it going?
Lick that shit, burn it. Roll that shit, lick that shit, burn it. Hey, Billy Blaze, you need to sign my friend Southern Star right there, the calligraphy. He's looking for somebody to help him out. He doesn't live in your area, though. Roll that shit, lick that shit, burn it.
Got sunshine in my pocket on a Sunday show. Homie got the rap, give me the sack. Let the good times roll. Therapy, earth, body, and soul. World, give me beat. Bel Air Kush, give me mental control.
Dabelan, you're amazing. I love all your videos and everything you've been posting about the OBDJ camp out. Thank you so much for manipulating my photos to make me look like a pumpkin head and everything else you've been doing. It's been wonderful.
Did you hook up your brand new
We are
appendage
doing
in there, too?
fantastic, Billy Blaze. It's another beautiful day. We're jamming out the calligraphy.
Show love, holistic cloud, politics throughout the nation, making it stop debating Billy Blunt stats, make the taste of weed. Weed is all I need. Smoke that weed. Weed is all I breathe. Smoke that weed. Smoke that weed. Just nothing for my belief. I'm not gonna shit. Roll that shit, lick that shit, burn it. 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 Roll that shit, lick that shit, burn it.
Roll that shit, lick that shit, and burn it is right, Billy Blaze. Gotta do some commercials.
Why don't we take a ride to Da.Hippie, PA today?
Doffin? What's in Doffin?
Bella's badass crystals.
Oh, but I thought you hung out with them on Facebook and on TikTok.
That's only on Mondays, Tuesdays, Saturdays, Sundays. Today, I want to go there and pick up all my great finds.
Billy Blaze,
That
could you
sounds
stick
like a
around
great
till after
road
this
trip.
commercial
That's
break?
Bella's
If you have any
Badass
intentions on
Crystals on
splitting, I'd
TikTok
like to
and
talk
Facebook,
to.
but you can
I
also
want to
find
talk
them
about
South
something
Mountain
really
in
quick, and I want to make
Doffin,
sure you
PA.
can
They are
pass the word on to
badass.
everybody for me.
Okay,
'Cause
man.
I forgot to talk about
This
some
is your
people
time.
yesterday that I really
Maybe
want
you
to
didn't
shout
choose
out.
this, but you're here now. You're going to go out there and be an all-star caregiver. It's up to you.
No, I didn't get a chance yet, Garrett. I saw him at the last minute. I've been
Be there emotionally and physically.
crazy busy.
Gotta
That's
dig
why
deeper.
I don't.
I saw the
Right.
two yesterday, Garrett. Very cool. The
Forget about
jet,
pharmacy. No, you won't.
the jet plane,
Because
and the other one.
that's
Yeah,
what caregivers
very cool,
do.
very nice.
Don't give up.
Got some shit
Yeah, I'll have
going
a
on
chance
over
to
there.
look at him after.
This is your time.
He's gonna give you a run
to
for
show
your
the
money,
world,
Dr.
your
High.
family,
That's
and
okay.
yourself.
Competition makes everybody better.
You go out there and be the best caregiver this world has ever seen.
Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at
Actually, I
aarc.org.
could be checking them out during the commercials.
Public
I seen
service
that you
announcement.
like that show, Bong Appetit. Isn't that an awesome show?
Hi, I'm Danica Patrick and
Right.
proud aunt.
I love
Watching
that show. I
Denise's
wish they were
grow,
still
play,
making
and
it.
learn is amazing, but not every child gets to be carefree. 1 in 6 kids in the U.S. are hungry. 1 in 6. That little girl sitting alone at the playground, she can't play like the other kids. She doesn't have the energy because she's hungry. School lunch will be her only meal today. It breaks my heart that this is the reality in our country.
I think I
but
hold
it's
it in
something
too
that
long.
Feeding
The smoke
America
never
is
comes out.
working to change.
It's probably
Each
bad,
year,
Dr.
Feeding
High,
America
right?
network of food banks rescues
What's that?
billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste. The food is then provided to families and children
Oh,
in need.
I hold it in
Feeding
too
kids should
long.
be about using your imagination, learning, and having fun. These children shouldn't have to miss out on simply being a kid because they're hungry. To find out how you can help end childhood hunger in your community,
Yeah.
visit
I'm telling you, Garrett.
feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you
I
by
gotta
Feeding
show you
America
some of
and
the
the
tricks
Ad
there
Council.
so that you can put these into canvases
at
and
Taylor's
open yourself an
Herbs
Etsy
and
store with this kind of art.
Herbs with a
Because
passion
I'll
for
tell you what, I
holistic
think
health.
this kind of
We are your
AI art
trusted
would
source
sell.
for premium herbs and concentrates.
Wait a minute. Do they have weed?
Our
Nice.
dedicated team is here to guide you on your wellness journey. Open 7 days a week, 10 to 10, ensuring you have access to what you need when you
Really nice.
need it most. Tailored Herbs and Concentrates is located
They're pot.
2941 Highway 11, Burnt Church, New Brunswick, Canada. If you need assistance anytime,
I
Are
need
you
a
using
system.
mint
I
tree?
need weed.
just call 506-871-4299. Tailored Herbs and Concentrates.
Where all the potheads go.
Yeah.
WTHC, welcome back. We are hanging. Dr. High is answering questions like crazy over there. Either that or he's talking in his sleep. We're here, Dylan, having a great time. I wanted to take an opportunity really quick because our friend Billy Blaze is here, and I know he knows these guys. And I didn't mention them yesterday, and I totally should have. And I had a nightmare last night. I woke up in a cold sweat because I said, "Oh my God, I never mentioned the Weed Suit Heroes, man." Every fucking one of them was amazing. Such great guys and their significant others, or girls and their significant other. Billy, please pass it on. Every single one of them. Dickhead, all of them. The gentleman that helped us. Yeah, his name, I don't know his real name. They were all, no, I do. We became friends on Facebook now, so we're good. But we're tight. He's all right when we calling him Dickhead because he walked
That's
around with
funny.
a dickhead on his head the whole time.
Okay.
They are amazing. And I know that they were the ones that did like a lot of the setting up of everything and helping everybody get set up. They did a lot of the cleaning up and helping taking care of everything afterwards. And I can't thank them enough. They are Weed Suit superheroes. Absolutely. Yes, Mike. That's his name, Mike. Yes, Mike is Dickhead. Yes. He said it. He said it was okay. I called him Dickhead, and he was like, I like that. Because he had a hat on, and he had a big dick, like my dick. I forgot I had a dick today.
Well,
Oh,
how
no!
did you forget?
I just
Oh my
got...
God, it's on your hip. How did it end up on your hip?
Shh, don't tell people it's a strap-on.
You got to stop playing with it so much, man. You got to keep it in the front.
Listen, it's the suit. I think the suit makes it slide to the side here. My belly. My belly.
What is it? Silk? It's rubbing on you just the right way. That's silk.
It's giving me a rash. My penis is giving me a rash, and I don't like it. Anyway, let's get back to weed. How are you, Dr. High? What do you want to talk about? You got anything you want to talk about? I wanted to just make sure I shouted out those Weed Suit dudes, man. They kick ass, man. They were so generous, so nice, so helpful, so talkative. Some of them. Woohoo! I started the Weed Suit Heroes. The kid was, yeah, they're all awesome. They are fantastic. Please tell every one of them that I appreciate everything they did for us. If any of them are here, they're all amazing. And yeah, I've spoke to Mike. He said that he has his own podcast and stuff like that. We're gonna talk to him on the show sooner or later. Yeah, I just like I said, I can't thank them enough for everything. I mean, from the beginning to the end. The very last thing, the Weed Suit Heroes saved our lives and jumped our car because our car broke down our battery died while we were loading the car. So yes, please. I can't do that. I have soft fingers.
I have soft fingers.
I
heard my phone ping, so I think I did, Kelly.
Yeah, Kelly said, "Did you get it?" Jacob
So,
sent you a link so you could get the Muck Sticky pajamas
I
because I
didn't-
told him.
I didn't see that link. I don't know where he sent it to me, but I didn't notice it.
Oh, the means. I've been following the means for a little while now. Yeah. Christopher and Jen. Yeah. They're WTHC family. They've been around for a while. They've been following us. All of them. Every single one of them.
There's
Absolutely.
proof that Lori was fisting you. I'm seeing it now.
See, I told you I was sexually abused this weekend.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Turn your back for 1 second.
This-
The big guy turned his
This
back for 1
video
second.
is something else. I don't know.
We have proof. We have proof.
Oh.
Now, any of that manipulating of my hand on her breast was all her.
Oh, that's funny.
I was saying no the whole time. You can't read my lips, but I was saying no.
That's not what your lips were doing. They didn't look
well.
like they were saying no.
No, they were. They were like, no, leave me alone, please.
He's super talented. That's funny.
Anyway,
Is
it
talent
is
code word?
Wednesday, so it's not weed show our plant day, but I'm gonna show mine anyway. I'm gonna take a little break. I'm gonna lay down and let the big guy do some work. Hold on. I'm bringing her up.
Oh, you're going to get your plant up. Let's see it. Let's see it.
Oh,
it's grown a lot. Yep, it's grown a lot. Yep.
Yeah. So what's next?
We'll let it go for a little while longer, and then you see those branches that are coming out from the bottom. They're starting to curl upwards.
Yeah.
Your very lowest branches.
Yeah.
We're going to pinch the top of that plant soon, maybe next week. So you're going to look at the very top of the plant, the new growth, and you're going to cut that off.
I don't cut nothing off, bro.
But we'll do that next week. You're going to cut it off and eat it, and you'll taste the watermelon.
All right. I'm putting the camera
down. But so the reason we take that off is so that we can allow those side branches to start to come up to the height of the center of the plant.
Gotcha.
Right? So that way you're going to end up with that
we're doing an indoor, right? So we're keeping that in mind. It's going to be an indoor.
Well, this is how you'll maximize your canopy, right?
Right.
Because you want as much of that plant as possible at the same height, budding at the same, you know what I mean, at the same height, so it all has access to the light evenly, and you don't care about what's below it all that much, right? And that's how
it
you
was
maximize
all a figment of everybody's imagination. It wasn't real. It was just
Billy Blaze is wondering what strain. Do you know what strain?
It's called Phantom something. It was a young man. Him and his dad were at the festival I went to, and he was the only one that wasn't like standing up annoying people. And he was sitting at his booth with his dad, and he had a couple pre-grown plants with him, and he had his own strains of seeds. And I got to reach out to him because he wanted to come on. And I said, you know what? I like you, kid. I like your style. And I just bought a pack of they're called Phantom something. I gotta find the card. It's here somewhere.
Have a good day, Crystal. Thanks for stopping by.
All right, Crystal, thank you so very much for everything. So yeah, it's Phantom something. Phantom of the Opera. I don't know. Something like that.
Well, it'd be interesting to have a breeder on, right? Because that's something that I've not engaged in, is taking plants to seed for the purpose of resowing them later on. I've never engaged in that practice. So, you know what I mean? It would be very interesting to talk to a cultivator that does that with the intent, right? Like some guys, crops go to seed, but not with intention sometimes. But, it'd be interesting to know how they do that and how they can, perhaps they're trying to make feminized seeds. Do you know whether that was feminized or not, what you had?
All right. So Tailored Herbs and Concentrates has a friend here, and they said, hi, can CBD get you high at all?
No, it's non-psychoactive.
Non-psychoactive. But thank
You
you.
can feel the effect of CBD on its own, but it won't be the cerebral high that's associated with THC. So it's not a high of any kind, but it can be relaxing. It can help
Yeah, I was gonna
relax
say it's just
anxiety
an
and things like
overall
that.
better feeling of health. You'll just feel better overall.
Yeah,
It's not a
yeah.
high, but when you stop taking it, you'll definitely notice that you're not feeling as good as
Yeah.
you were when you were taking it on a regular
But
basis.
there is an argument for the fact that cannabis that has a percentage of CBD also as well as THC is actually more beneficial. Your experience can be nicer because they really together they work really well. So if you can find something that's 20% THC and 2%, 1.5% CBD, you might enjoy it more than something that's 26% THC and a very small, like a 0.1% CBD or 0.2. So CBD can actually make your experience a little bit nicer with the THC, but you won't get high from it at all. Yeah, CBD can put you to sleep. As a matter of fact, people who use CBD for sleep, you have to just watch your timing a little bit, right? Because what'll happen is if you take it
Hey,
too close to
Jessica, much
bedtime, it
love.
can
Thank you
actually
for
wake
coming
you up a
by.
little bit. So you kind of want to have a 2-hour window from the time you dose your
Hey.
CBD before you actually go to sleep. Now, will this show up on my drug test for work? Well, drug tests are looking for THC. So they're not actually looking for CBD. So I believe that it would probably be missed on a drug test. What the concern is you'd want to make sure that the source of CBD that's in your preparation, because you'll never find 100% CBD cannabis to smoke for sure. But you do have CBD oils. And as long as that oil has been made from CBD isolate, which is 99.9% pure CBD, you can't guarantee, like if it's a hemp-based CBD oil, there's going to be a small amount of THC in there. So that THC could get caught in a drug test. But if you're using CBD oil that's made from CBD isolate, you should be safe.
DJ Nephew Nick over there writing.
What's that?
Kelly, he says they should look for THC. It's a plant. She's a special one. I think she meant to say it does. They shouldn't look for
Yeah,
it.
no, they really shouldn't. And I'll tell you a little story about cannabis here in Canada. In Alberta, this is our big oil producing part of the country, right? It's the province that pulls out as much oil, second largest oil reserves in the world in Alberta. And so they have the oil patches up there where guys go and live in camps. And they go up there for a 2-week stint and then they're home for a week, or they go 2 weeks and they're off 2 weeks, whatever their schedule is, I don't know. But these guys are regularly drug tested. And because cannabis was one of the drugs they tested for, and because cannabis stays in your system for an extended period of time, like 30 days or more for some people, these guys couldn't enjoy the use of cannabis during their downtime while they were off of work. So what they did use was cocaine and crystal meth, because those drugs clear your body in about 3 days, right? So yeah,
I remember.
You can clear those quickly, right, for your drug test. But what a horrible thing to do to escape.
To force
You had
people
to
to
use
do
those
bad
drugs.
drugs so that they could
Yeah, because they couldn't use
live
cannabis.
life.
And I'll tell you what, come the end of a weekend or whatever the case may be, the guy I'm working next to, I'd much rather be the guy who smoked a few joints on his days off than the guy who spent the
that's
last couple of
coming
days off
down with
smoking
his
crystal
jaw
meth
going like
or
this.
starting or coke or whatever. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
who's
I
gonna
don't
be
want the
more
guy with his
dangerous?
jaw going back and forth.
Yeah, who's going to be more dangerous on the job site, right? So this was a real problem with the drug testing and that. The difference between a tincture and an infusion. Well, an infusion technically is anything that you put the cannabinoids into. So whether it be THC or CBD or full spectrum extract, no matter what it is, if you're making canna butter, you're technically making an infusion, right? So as soon as you take cannabinoids and mix them with a fat or an alcohol, you're infusing that fat or alcohol with THC, CBD, and all the rest. So the tincture is generally done from alcohol. So cannabis is soaked in alcohol, and then that alcohol is reduced to the point where most of the alcohol has gone, and basically what you're left with is the little bit of distilled water and the cannabinoids the distilled water, you got to go out. That's why you find some tinctures are dark, because they have to elevate the temperature to remove it. It doesn't stay clear. But you could also do a tincture with a small amount of ethyl alcohol and simply putting shatter, rosin, THC distillate, CBD isolate. So an infusion is a very broad word, and a tincture is a form of infused product, basically.
What he said.
Yeah, was that confusing?
No, I concur.
But it wasn't confusing?
No, it was good. It made sense to me. And if
I think it confused me.
made sense to me, and if I can figure it out, then anybody.
Right.
Loki,
Too much.
it's too early,
Yes.
Loki.
Lock the door for him.
Oh,
Hold on.
Loki. Anyway, welcome in, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your questions up there at Tailored Herbs and Concentrates. You guys are amazing. We love you guys. I can't wait to see you guys and meet you guys. Anyway, Dr. High, what are we going to do today?
What are we doing? What we're doing now, I suppose.
Oh,
talking about
right.
Our favorite things.
Talk about weed.
Shall we touch on what we talked about a little yesterday after the show?
We didn't touch on anything.
So I'd be curious to know what you folks out there think about this, but this is something that the hippie and I were talking about yesterday.
We were.
He was lucky enough to have some people that you guys met over the weekend provide him with some product that he can give away.
Right.
Send out to our listeners. But it shouldn't be too simple. And how do we decide who's going to receive the product? Who's going to get the opportunity, right? How do we make those decisions? So something that we talked about yesterday, which I think would be kind of fun, would be something that we did a bit with Garrett with the Stump the Doctor. So really what we'll do is we'll set up these days. We're not going to start right today, but me and Hippie will sort it out. We'll do this. And we'll have days where we run a little contest. And you guys will submit your questions in the chat.
Shamalama ding dong. Come on, girl.
And what we'd like to do is have Garrett verify the answers on ChatGPT to your questions. And then he'll moderate the answers.
Yes.
So Garrett will be impartial. If you're up with this, Garrett, that's up to you. I haven't talked to you about it, but
yes.
if you're game, you'll verify the answers, and then you'll decide whether somebody has actually stumped the doctor or not. So I'd like to know what you guys think about that, and if it's a game you'd be interested in playing, because I think it would be fun. And when we have giveaways that we can do, it's a great way to make sure that it's kind of fair, right?
Yeah.
And I think it would be a blast.
And then I don't have to worry about that wheel.
Yeah, I mean, the wheel is okay, but
we can do the wheel every once in a while too. But
it's kind of fun to make it like active, right? Participation, because people have questions out there, but they're not actively thinking about what they want to know.
Right.
So this will kind of inspire them to come up and ask
things
that they're interested in. And if nobody asks any questions at all, we'll have to send the
win.
prize to Barrett that day.
I win. No. Yeah, actually, we're probably not gonna start until Dr. High moves to Montreal.
Yeah. Today I was
That's
just
coming
throwing
up.
it out there
That's
just
coming
talk
up,
about
right?
it.
Like you're moving like this week or next week, right?
Next Friday, not in like 9 days.
9 days.
And I got to start packing. I'm going to start on Monday getting packed. Like my wife's done a lot of it already. A lot of the stuff that we don't need, but the whole kitchen needs to be done and all that. And because I'm in the country,
You
I don't
said
have
you
access
wanted
to
her
all
to
that.
save that for last. You said save all my pots and pans because I need.
Well, that's the whole thing, right? Because we're in the country. So I can't use Skip the Dishes. I can't use Uber Eats. I can't, you know what I mean? For me to run out for fast food is an adventure. It's an hour and a half to go eat. Yeah, it's a pain in the ass. So
we got to do a commercial, buddy. So we'll be right back. You go play with your dog for a second.
You're a good boy.
Okay, men. This is your time. Maybe you didn't choose this, but you're here now. You're going to go out there and be
moving is my favorite thing to do.
It's up to you.
I've done it a lot of times.
So what are you going to do? You're going to go grocery shopping.
And this move is cool
emotionally and
because
physically. You got to
we
dig
haven't been
deeper.
around our kids for the last like 6 years, right? Our kids have been living in Montreal and we've been living in other parts of the country, so we haven't had the time together. And now they're adults, right? And it's
don't ever give up.
I can't hear.
This is your time to show the world, your family, and yourself that you're tougher than tough. Now go out there and be the best caregiver this world has ever seen.
The Activated is in the house, everybody.
Pick
him up, grab him up. He's one of our new singers.
Public service
Our new artist over here at
Oh,
WC.
Mr. Activated.
Mr. Activated.
Watching my
Okay.
nieces grow, play, and learn
Pick
is
him up,
amazing,
Dr. High. He's
but
a
not
great
every
guy.
child gets to be carefree.
Nice.
1 in 6 kids in the
Does
U.S.
you have some music on your station? Have I heard him before?
I'm going to play it right now after the commercial so everybody can get a little taste of Mr. Activated. I played him a little while ago, but I'm willing to break the rules for you, Mr. Activated.
But it's something that feeding
Yeah,
America
that's
is
Loki.
working to
I
change.
named him that because that's the Norse god of mischief. But no, we don't have any other pets. We had a cat, but I went up
Oh,
to bed
Corrine,
3 months
I
ago.
meant to answer you before and I missed it. I'm so sorry. I am going to do my best to try to get there, but it doesn't look good right now. Finances are a little low. And that's like a 2-hour ride for me to get there. I really wanted to be there, but I kind of went a little crazy this past weekend at the OVDJ campout.
And the Ad Council. Say bye-bye to bottled water. Holistic Health Water has
Oh, that's
certified
the song
integrated
title,
water
I Am
items
Legend.
that makes 7 types of water, including healthy alkaline. There's a 5-micron filter that lasts up to a year, and each machine lasts 25 to 30
Yeah,
years.
Billy Blaze, I need to
Attached
talk to
your
somebody over
faucet
there
or
because
your sink. Even get a
if
mineral
they're,
spa unit for your
we
shower.
got to figure
Go
stuff
to
out really quick when we get a
Get
chance.
free ebook. Plus, pay for any machine in full.
I
and
just
get an
got to be able to
extra filter
relabel
free.
everybody so I
Change
know
your
who's
water
who
and
and
change
what's
your life.
what, you know.
Ownyourwater.org.
Are you in the Owensville or Middletown, New York area? Revamp your space with Collins Paint LTD.
Oh, Corinne, if I told you the best fucking weekend of my entire life. Yeah, like because if Mr. Activated is just Mr. Activated and not part of calligraphy, then I gotta relabel it so that he comes up as Mr. Activated, so I can play calligraphy, then I can play Mr. Activated, then I can play if Manuel Noriega's singing by himself, you know, or if he's singing in calligraphy, then I have to keep them separated depending on what they are, you know, so I can play them more often if it's like Manuel Noriega's song. He's part of calligraphy, I know, but is that the label? Here it is, Mr. Activated. All right, yeah, we got to talk. I just got to figure it all out. I know you're a part of calligraphy, but I just got to know. So I want to be able to play you guys as often as possible. So if I can make it so it's Mr. Activated, you know what I mean? And then I can play him, and then I can play calligraphy, And but if he's a part of the whole calligraphy, we just got to talk. We'll figure it out. Shut up so we can hear Mr. Activated. Okay.
So they can remember me. When I die, I'ma be a legend. When I die, I'ma be a legend. When I die, I'ma be a legend. Be a legend, be a legend. TMZ paparazzi on my ass. I'm rolling down the windows and let the camera flash. I wanna be a legend, cuz it's better than cash, and it's more into you, but it's not wearing a mask. And it's definitely not a question that you have to ask. I never seen a legend in the future, but more in the past. And them haters, I must be passing last on my way to the top of that thing while y'all stuck on that cash. I'm better than gold. Why you niggas do this so fast? Then look at the things he had. A black man playing baseball. White people look at him mad. So that's the reason everybody look at me bad. So they can remember me. Stay taking pictures so they can remember me. When I die, I'ma be a legend. When I die, I'ma be a legend. When I die, I'ma be a legend. Be a legend.
I think he sang this song about me. It's very nice of you to activate it.
I'm the king, I spread the gold, they taking pictures of the fit, yo. Flash after flash, like yeah, post for the cinema. Bag after bag on the road, I need my Benjamin. Don't see why these people so mad, started a citizen. Comment for these models like gang, taking pictures, so they can remember me.
I want to know how Corina, have you had an opportunity to take a look at vapes yet?
You know what? I need to get in touch with the girl that let her boobs out. I want to have her on the show. Somebody get in touch with the girl. I don't know how to get in touch with her, but we need to have her on the show.
All right. Where's Fable to warn you about community guidelines?
WTHC. That was Mr. Activated, one of the members of calligraphy. Absolutely love it. I am going to be a legend too, Dr. High. Yeah. He sang that about me. I think he just didn't know it yet.
Nice.
I absolutely love it.
I would love to hear it on the radio because it's kind of hard to. I don't know if it's the same for everybody who comes into the lives like this to check it out, but it was hard for me to actually. I could hear little bits of it, but I'm looking forward to actually hearing it on the radio part while I'm doing my work, so I can check it out for real.
Maybe I need to turn this up for a bit. Is that better? Can you hear me better? Can you hear everything better? I don't know.
Well, no, I can hear you fine. It's just the music doesn't come through the same like this. So I don't know if it's because we're both in on this and it's a different experience for others who just come and check it out or not. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either, but we'll talk about it after, I guess, and try to figure it out because you need to be able to hear Mr. Activated. You can't just sit there and not hear it.
I can hear it, but it's like listening to it through a pillow,
Yeah,
that's all.
That's the same with me. It's like hearing you through a pillow when the songs are on. Anyway, Mr. Activated, thank you so much for giving us the rights to play your music. We love you. Calligraphy, you guys are awesome. The Weed Suit Heroes, you guys rock. Everybody over there in Ohio. I think I'm moving to Ohio, Dr. High. They're going to pass it recreational in a couple months.
I was going to say, just wait to see what happens in November, and then you can make your move.
I'm going to start packing now. I'm moving to Bel Air.
You just got to be packed and ready to go to the next state that legalizes recreational.
Like the Fresh Prince, I'm moving to Bel Air.
That's funny.
Anyway, welcome in, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Please make sure you like, subscribe, share, do that shit they tell you to do. We are over 110 followers now, Dr. High.
Wow.
Yeah, and we are fucking on our way. We're cruising.
Wow.
We're going to be there in no time.
When was the last time you spied on Master Rochi's numbers?
I haven't looked in a while. I'm afraid to look. But I'm feeling pretty positive about 110. I feel like we're in the lead.
you know what? We just do what we do, and we keep doing what we keep doing, and we'll all be good. You know, no problem there.
Yeah, Billy.
Everyone moves here to Bel Air. The weed law passed is awesome. 7 ounces is nice.
Yeah, Billy
That's a
is.
boat.
Go ahead.
I was going to say that's a boat where you can move with in Canada if you're a medical patient. Here you can move with 150 grams medical and 30 grams recreational. You're within the law.
We have another hour. Billy, are you dressed? Are you naked? Or you want to come up today and hang out with us for a little while? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Were you worried about him being naked with you showing your thing all the time there now?
Shh, I got in trouble yesterday. Mrs. Hippie was pissed. I kept pulling the thingy thing out.
Because you kept pulling it out.
Yeah. She's like, you can't. Okay, no problem. We'll set it up. I want to set it up, but I hate seeing you there. And I'm like, I don't want to lose him. I love him. He's a great guy. I don't want to lose him. Can I be a weed suit hero too? Is there like an application or something? Do I get to fill
I think
out?
I seen a picture of those guys. Maybe like 5 guys in a suits with weed leaves all over them. Was that it?
There's more than 5. There's 7 or 8 or 10 of them, but they're amazing. They're just great guys who helped out with everything. They did everything. I mean, besides Billy Blaze and everybody else, but they were there, the whole time. They were helping everybody. I felt so bad when I got off the air yesterday and I didn't talk about them overall as a group. They're just amazing. Just a bunch of amazing guys.
How are you, Brandy?
Yeah, because you've been sleeping on the fucking ground, buddy. We're getting old. We're not supposed to sleep on the ground when we get old.
Yeah, no doubt, eh?
The weed, yeah, I don't know if they make them in the big guy size. Maybe I can get a little one for the dude here. But
there you go.
Guy, he might not be able to get one. They don't
that would suit the
hippie. Yeah, then I could be a weed suit hero.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they make them this small though either. Damn, we're in a quagmire here. Damn it. The big guy's too big and I'm too little.
Yeah.
Anyway, I will look into a Amazon weed suit hero suit because I would be honored to be a weed suit hero. Ugh. Anyway, what else, Dr. High? We got another hour, bro.
I don't know.
I can look up stories. I didn't look up any stories. I figured you had a ton of stuff.
No, I've been busy doing other things.
Yeah, I know you're getting ready to move. You got a lot of shit going on.
Yeah.
What have I got? Anything I need? I can look up stories. I mean,
yeah, I'm just going to take a look and see if there's anything interesting in the marijuana moment today. Sometimes there are good stories here, but today it doesn't look like there is. So, what's next?
All right, I got one. You ready?
Yeah.
President Biden is taking a step towards legalizing marijuana. Last month, news broke that the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services wants to legalize weed. Kind of. On August 30th, Bloomberg reported that the agency formally recommended that the federal government downgrade the drug from a Schedule I substance to where it has sat for decades alongside LSD and heroin to a much lesser severe Schedule III. Shouldn't even be scheduled at all, you dumbasses. But anyway, if the proposal goes through, it would be the most significant change in federal marijuana policy since Prohibition began in 1937, and a major rollback of the punitive war on drugs, which has dominated American drug policy for over 50 years. The Human Health and Human Services recommended stems for an order President Joe Biden gave last October when he pardoned 6,500 low-level pot offenders, none of whom were still in prison. And asked his administration to reconsider the drug's legal status. The move now goes to the Justice Department which could approve it before the presidential election. It's pulling the pin on the grenade of federal legalization. California cannabis entrepreneur Eric Spitz told me, not me,
Right.
whoever this dude is that wrote this.
Yeah, it's going to encounter a lot of pushback from.
Thank you for cutting me off. I can stop.
Oh,
again.
you weren't finished the story yet. Sorry.
Oh, no, I was 100% finished. That was.
Oh, were you?
Oh, yeah. I was finished after the first paragraph. I'm like, I'm not a reader. Dr. High, you're supposed to be the reader.
Well, you know,
it's good practice. It's good practice.
This is my concern.
It's going to keep me from going senile.
Yeah, this is my concern in the States, right? Like, it should be the Department of Health and Human Services that has more authority than the Department of Justice. Why are they making this a legal issue that the Department of Justice will weigh in on, the FBI will weigh in on, the DEA will weigh in on, all the local police departments will weigh in on? It is a health issue, and it's a social issue. It's not, it should not be legal or not legal. I mean, there's only two ways, right? It's either legal or it's not legal. So why should somebody who decides that be the one who has the final say? It should be, is it safe for society? Does it have a use as therapeutic? Does it have a therapeutic potential use in society? So that should be a department that makes a decision, right? There's a lot of money in cannabis enforcement for law enforcement agencies. Like, a lot of people don't know, but if you're cultivating at home, right? Let's say you got 50 plants going in your basement.
Not me. Not me.
Well, not you, but I'm just saying, like, let's say somebody who's growing enough that they have just their own little business, right? They might supply, 10 or 15 people that they're friends with, they grew up with, went to school with, whatever the case may be. They're not causing any social disruption. They're not running around with guns and, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. They're just like hippie type, right? Growers in California and places where you can do that sort of thing. So law enforcement, when they bust you, when the police come and bust you for cultivation like that, not only do you lose your plants and your equipment, but you lose your home. You have your bank accounts frozen. They can seize your vehicles. And it's not like a criminal charge, right? So in the criminal side of things, when you're charged with a crime, you are innocent until proven guilty to some extent, right? But the court decides. The judge decides based upon evidence whether you are guilty of the crime or not guilty of the crime. But when it comes to seized assets from what they call the proceeds of crime, that's a very different situation. In that situation, you as the defendant have to prove that the assets you possess, you obtained without any financial assistance from growing your marijuana, let's say, right? Like, you didn't sell a pound and buy a motorcycle. So that type of things. But the burden of proof then falls to the individual to prove that everything they own, their house, their cars, their bank accounts, was earned in a legal fashion. And if you can't prove it, they seize it. And the thing is when they seize it, do you know who gets it? Police.
The people at the auction in a couple weeks.
Right, but the actual proceeds or the actual money that's generated from those seized assets go back to the enforcement agency that busted you. And then sometimes, if it was your neighbor that called, and your neighbor was the one who snitched you out, and that's the reason the police came to your house in the first place, they can get up to 25% of that seizure as a reward for telling on you. So there's the first step right there of why law enforcement agencies will push back, because busting cannabis grows are fairly easy compared to cocaine or heroin or LSD or meth, because cannabis takes up a large volume of space and it has a really strong odor. So it's much easier for them to catch in some ways, right? So there's your first issue. The second issue is federal agencies like the DEA, the way that they get funded is they go to Congress and they say, okay, so in order to enforce drug smuggling at the borders, we need $1 billion this year. In order to combat drug interdiction in other countries, Colombia, Jamaica, wherever they want to go, Afghanistan to stop the poppies, whatever it is, we need another $1 billion. In order to combat marijuana growers, illegal guerrilla growers in California and Washington State, we need another $1 billion. So as soon as cannabis becomes legal, that's $1 billion less, or whatever the number is less in the budget that they can go to Congress and ask for. So now you have just as many agents, but you have $1 billion less. So now, how do you get a raise this year? Well, that's kind of hard because you got $1 billion left. So there's going to be a lot of financial interest in play here that has absolutely nothing to do with the safety of cannabis or its societal harms. So this is going to be, I foresee, as a real problem. Part of the reason you didn't get the pushback in Canada the same way from law enforcement was because it doesn't work the same way here. You know, a police agency that comes in and raids your house and finds pounds of weed or whatever, they don't get the money from your house and your cars and your bank accounts. They don't get to seize that stuff. And as a matter of fact, part of the legalization process here, the Police Chiefs Association of Canada was on board with the recommendation for legalizing cannabis because they recognized that there was more harm in the enforcement of the law than there was in the actual consumption of cannabis, right? Societal harms with incarceration, and, you know, somebody gets incarcerated, they're a father with a couple of kids at home and a wife, and now there's a source of income out of the family. And if the mother needed to be a stay-home mom because you got a special needs child or whatever, now where's the income coming from? Now that becomes a burden on the government, and you know what I mean? So there are a lot of more societal harm in cannabis being illegal than there is in it being legal. So I don't understand why America is going to allow these decisions to be made by law enforcement. It doesn't make sense. You know, even the FDA doesn't make sense in this case. So
we're in for a shit show.
Yeah, I just think that it's the decision is left, like the wrong people have authority in this decision-making process, right? They're not the ones who really matter here in a lot of ways, because it's not about cannabis being illegal or legal. It's about, is it safe? Is it harmful to society? And does the enforcement of cannabis cause more societal damage than actually allowing people to consume it? And the answer to that is yes, especially in the States where you have millions of people incarcerated. And how many of those millions are incarcerated for cannabis? Quite a bit, because I knew quite a few when I was incarcerated with them. So, and I was also incarcerated over there for the same thing. So I know. The only reason I got lucky is they couldn't seize my assets in Canada.
Very cool. Why are we talking about football over there, you weirdos? This is a weed radio show.
Well, I suppose people like to smoke weed and watch football.
Oh, I do. I try to do it every Sunday.
Yeah.
But not this Sunday. I mean, last Sunday. This Sunday, I might be going back to Ohio. I don't know.
What's going on there? Is there another festival?
Absolutely nothing, but I loved it.
Yeah.
And I want to be there because it was great. Oh, you know what I do have? I do have Ohio State Buckeyes up here now. One of the weed suit heroes came by and gave me 3 of them. Ohio State Buckeyes. So now I have the official Ohio State Buckeyes right here on my table.
Yeah, I used to have the jerseys from Ohio State, from Syracuse, from LSU, from
Syracuse was my team. It was always my team because it was like, I grew up on Long Island and there was and I wanted to play football. I'm a big fella. I could have played football, you know. And I did play football all the way through high school, but then I turned to a different track. I found a different track in my life.
Yeah, no, for me, it was my dad would, he was a chemical engineer that specialized in the transportation of dangerous goods, like dangerous chemicals and stuff like that. So from time to time, he would go to different universities as like a guest speaker or whatever on the subject to the chemical engineering department or whatever it was. And he always bring me back the football jerseys from the schools that he went to do his little things, right? So I had a great collection of them growing up. I used to love the Buckeyes because the Buckeye looked like a pot leaf, you know?
Well, then they
And it does, if you look at it, it's got that visual of a pot leaf on it. They used to have them all over the helmet. And
don't look like no pot leaf up here. Looks like a little acorn.
where is it?
It looks like a nut of some sort. I guess I got the pit or whatever from the inside of it.
That's funny.
Anyway, over here they're chatting over here. I don't know what they're saying. Go Gators! What the hell?
That's Florida, no?
Oh, Uncle Roach is here.
Where?
Roach. Hi, Uncle. Not Master Roachy. Uncle Roach.
Oh.
Chris. He said his name is Uncle Roach.
Oh, right. Yeah. Where's Chris? I didn't see. Oh, there he is. How you doing, Chris?
Yeah. Good morning, Uncle Roach.
Napping during the Hippie and DoktorHigh show?
Right.
Man, you got to get to bed a little earlier at night, bro.
We need to talk to you about that after the show. Please report to the main office.
He's staying up late loving his plants. Like he turns all the lights off.
I don't want to hear about him loving his plants.
He sets up the cherry, rolls himself a big spliff, and he opens up the tent, and it's all dark in the rest of the house, and he just smokes. And he's got some good music playing in the background, maybe some Bob Marley, something like that.
No, maybe Bob Marley, but he's got WTHC radio on. It's
well, if you're playing Bob Marley,
it's guaranteed one extra bud on your plant if you play WTHC radio.
Now, there's a slogan we should go with.
Right.
WTHC in your grow room for bigger buds.
Guaranteed bigger buds.
Guaranteed bigger buds. WTHC.
Absolutely. Yeah, usually got WTHC on. See? Right. See?
Yeah. Well, you can't spell healthcare without THC, eh?
Right. That's exactly
right. It's an important component. We all need it.
We all want it.
Yeah.
We all need it. What is that?
It's a beautiful thing.
Missed my mouth.
You missed your mouth.
Woo.
Well, you can't be sticking it behind your head like that. It's going to catch your hair on fire.
Yeah, most of my hair is synthetic.
Oh, so it'll go right up, man. It's like
it's
wearing a polyester shirt,
Yeah, it's a weave.
Yeah, whoever thought that was a good idea to start making clothing out of petroleum products? They could have just been using all good cotton and hemp all these years.
It was a hot idea.
There we go, Yeah, that's part of the reason that cannabis was illegal for so long. Definitely.
Anyway, speaking of illegal cannabis, I have nothing. I got nothing. Go for it. Your turn. Oh, wait, Corinne, what did you write? It needs to be taken off the Schedule 1 drug. I agree. Darren! What's up, Darren? Good to see you, bro.
How you doing, Darren?
I think that's my friend.
Yeah, well, that's the whole thing, right? In the States, you have kind of a legal system or a governmental system that's funded by political lobbying groups, which receive these PACs or whatever. You see the commercials for them, like they'll be pushing a certain politician in a TV commercial, and if you look at the small writing in the bottom, it's not the politician that paid for the commercial. It's like the Cattlemen's Association of America or something like that has paid for that guy's commercial. And if you think about it, I mean, what was the last presidential race? They spent like $1 billion each or something, right, on advertising, Biden and Trump. Like, it's huge money. So it's about who can produce the best ads and stuff like that. And that's the problem.
I don't know. My commercials are pretty fucking good.
You don't do political, though.
Oh, right. But
If
no.
you start doing political, you probably have a bigger budget.
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
80% of all advertising revenue now on television is pharmaceutical related. Pharmaceutical companies. 80% of ad revenue comes from pharmaceutical companies. Figure that one out. It's pretty scary.
I don't have to. I got it already. As soon as you said it, I was like, there you go. That
Yeah,
explains
so
everything.
that's really what it is, Corinne. And that's because, money talks anymore. And the cannabis lobby, it's so difficult to make money in the cannabis industry, right? For regulated companies, it's really, really tough. So they don't have the pockets deep enough to wield the same influence as, let's say, a pharmaceutical giant. That's another reason you'll see cannabis slow, because it costs millions and millions and millions of dollars to go through FDA trials to bring a drug to market. So pharmaceutical companies have the deep pockets that they can fund that process through, because what they're really hoping for at the end of the day is a patent, which gives them 25 years of that particular medicine where nobody can do a generic version or anything like that. So, it's a risk they're willing to take if they believe that their product will pass the test. But with cannabis, like Dr. Harris was telling us, because it is not one specific chemical that does it, it's a conglomeration of compounds. Number one, it can never be classified by the FDA because they'll never be able to say just this one streamlined thing. So it doesn't fit on any category. But secondly, who's going to fund it? Who's going to fund the studies necessary to get FDA approval? Not the pharmaceutical companies, because cannabis goes against what they're trying to do, right? Because it can replace some of the medicines they provide. So they're not going to. It'd be like Budweiser funding Miller Beer. You know what I mean, or whatever it is. It'd be like two competing companies, one paying for the other's research.
Right. Think about that.
Are you in the Owensville or Middletown, New York area? Revamp your space with
Killing me over here talking.
Ugly walls like Collins Paint. LTD.
Gotta get a clock in front of you.
Color to your world. Collins Painting is a veteran owned and they can transform your space to whatever your heart desires. Say goodbye to the boring days and hello to possibilities of bright, vibrant colors. The Collins Painting team are a group of skilled professional painters who will turn your vision into reality. Call Collins Paint LTD today to get a fast and easy quote. Available Monday through Fridays, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call them at 845-869-8176.
Hey, Dad, your prescription will be ready in just a minute. Hey, Dad, your laundry will be ready in just a minute. Dad, your lunch will be ready in just a minute.
Hey, honey, why don't you take a minute? When you help care for a loved one, you give them as much time as you can, making sure they're safe and comfortable. But it's just as important you take some time for yourself. At AARP, we can help with information and useful tips on how you can maintain a healthy life balance, care for your own physical and mental well-being, and manage the challenges of caring for a loved one. Because the better care you take of yourself, the better care you can provide for your loved one.
Thanks, Dad.
Thank you. You're there for them. We're here for you. Find free care guides to support you and your loved one at aarp.org/caregiving. That's aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
All right, class, let's hear what everyone did this weekend. Jill?
Well, I raised my older sister to a big oak tree. It was at least 100 years old. My mom said I must have set a record or something. And then we went down by a stream and perched up on this huge rock and saw all of these little minnows swimming around way below us. And then I rescued my little brother from an evil slug king who was guarding him at the Bush Fortress. And my sister and I brought him back to our super twig fort for safety. And then we stories until it got dark, and the Big Dipper led us all the way home.
Where were you, Jill?
Yeah, we went to the forest. It's not that far away. Anyone want to come this weekend?
Ask
your parents to take you and your friends to the forest this week and find the fun, adventurous you. It's closer than you think. Check out discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
The Hippie and Uncle Roach. WTHC. Guess what, guys? It's time. It's 420. This is our new friend D-Flow with Smoker.
I'm a stoner, a roller, a real dope smoker, toker, a loner, dope smoke choker, play poker with owners for pounds that they're growing, tobacco in the bong with trees, real smoker. I'm a stoner, a real dope smoker, toker, a loner, dope smoke choker, play poker with owners for pounds that they're growing, tobacco in the bong, real moker. I'm a real one, 100 double O's at the end. I keep it real shit, I don't play pretend. Don't beg, fuck handouts, I earn dividends. Pay my way to the table, hard work with my friends. Don't trip, small shit gon' turn to big hits. Fucking up the game with missions of success. Partners with my team, we gon' plan for the best. Shout out cuz gon' eat with our friends. So J, put the hash in it. Hit it twice, then I'm passing it. Got a ash, then we tapping it. Got a ash, then we tapping it. Roll a J, put the hash in it. Hit it twice, then I'm passing it. Got a ash, then we tapping it. Got a ash, then we tapping it. I'm a stoner, a roller, a real dope smoker, toker, a loner, dope smoke choker, play poker with owners for pounds that they're growing, tobacco in the bong with trees, real moker. I'm a stoner, a roller, a real dope smoker, toker, a loner, dope smoke choker, play poker with owners for pounds that they're growing, tobacco in the bong with trees, real smoker. Fact is I'm up, y'all can never put me down. Smile on my face, there won't never be a frown. 10 toes on the floor, so I'm walking on the ground. Smoking the air, equivalent to a pound. I'm happy, no ego, I'm me, who are you? Blaze from the hash in a row, keep me cool. Don't need nobody, myself, not a fool. My brothers around, they license the tool. Fact is I'm up, y'all can never put me down. Smile on my face, it won't never be a frown. 10 toes on the floor, so I'm walking on the ground. Smoking the air, equivalent to a pound. I'm happy, no ego, I'm me, who are you? Blaze from the hatch in the road, keep me cool. Don't need nobody, myself, not a fool. My brothers around, they license the tool.
So what you
Got that
need?
Gucci
I got
green.
that Gucci green. You say you need a bag, just know it ain't cheap, ho. Say what you need. I got that Gucci green. You say you need a bag, just know it ain't cheap, ho. I'm rolling deep, got Nikes on my feet. All these hundreds in my pockets make my body go weak. What you need, hit me up, I can make your life complete. Just dial my number, leave a fucking message at the beep. This is heat, and you know it, say capiche. And we going to uncharted territories that they ain't showing. But I'ma do it different, me and my team on a mission. Throwing shots back, come visit the clinic. Doctor, please fill my prescription. Give them what they want, even if they didn't ask for it. Feeling like a Don, smoking Cuban with no passport. Luxuries, exotic, I got it. Fuck with me, bitch, please. Don't want no problem, cause you know I'm psychotic. So what you need? I got that Gucci green. You say you need a bag, just know it ain't cheap, ho. So what you need? I got that Gucci green. You say you need a bag, just know it ain't cheap, ho. So what you need? I got that Gucci green. You say you need a bag, just know it ain't cheap, ho. So what you need? I got that Gucci green. You say you need a bag, just know it ain't cheap, ho. This life I'm living is something I could never envision. Just push your limits, you'll get it, I promise you'll get it. I started from the bottom, smoking roach after roach. It ain't no problem, more fire than lava. I'm the king of the jungle, my name Mufasa, lion roaring like a monster. This the appetizer, you my main course, and that's not
The
surprising.
beat?
That
Really?
this Go, they know. That's why they be screaming out my name. Oh, hey, yo, this that shit. Grab a 40 and light it up. Let's get trippy up in this bitch. No, I'm not one for quitting. I'm too legit. That's why I said it be making it coincidence. Not like people what's the difference.
Yeah, we're gonna do that this week coming up.
Ask you one more time what you need. Ready for anything. Don't fuck with my company. R.I.P. to this beat.
Yeah, it won't be Friday for sure.
Waking up at the crack of dawn for a G.
But
What you need? I got that Gucci green. You say you need a bag, just know it ain't cheap. Ho, said what you need? I got that Gucci green. You say you need a bag, no it ain't cheap. Ho, said what you need? I got that Gucci green. You say you need a bag, just know it ain't cheap. Ho, said what you need? I got that Gucci green. You say you need a bag, just know it ain't cheap. Ho.
I'm going to mute for a second, Hippie.
Thank God. WGHC, good afternoon to everybody out there. 1:25 in the afternoon. The weather is beautiful here in the beautiful Pocono Mountains. It is 63 degrees, it says over here, and mostly sunny. So that sounds like a delightful day. The leaves are starting to change. I want to thank everybody out there on Live 365 and TuneIn. And, of course, everybody hanging out here on Facebook and YouTube. Please go like, subscribe, and share. And all the typing you can do over there in that chat will help our algorithm. I think that's what they say. I'm not quite sure what I'm even saying, but whatever. It works. Dr. High is in the middle of something very important. It is Sirius XM Radio reaching out to us to take us on. So we have to be patient with that. What about oxygen? No, not interested. I got my own. What are we guys doing? Welcome in. Thank you so much. Okay, cool. Wanted to ask. Okay. Holy shit. Holy shit, what? What are you holy shitting, Lori? No, I was kidding about Sirius XM. That was a joke.
Sorry about that.
Hi, they all want to know if that was Sirius XM calling to pick us up.
Well, we can't disclose this information until the contracts are signed.
Right.
And that $1 million has been deposited. So
right, we're waiting on our $1 million.
Yeah, we're waiting on the check. So
yeah, we have to split.
No, it was kind of weird because it was somebody asking for my wife, and it was kind of strange that they were asking for her on that number. So I needed to find out more, but it turns out it was someplace who was looking to hire her as a nurse in Quebec. But that doesn't matter anymore because she's already got a job there. So,
right.
You know.
So are you excited for your move? I know you've been saying you are. I mean, this is going to be a much smaller pad. Are you guys prepared for that?
Well, it's going to be cozy, let's say, but it's really new. So it's very modern. It's nice. It's the way it looks is a lot of concrete and stuff. So it looks really modern.
How
and
did
cool.
it work out? How did it work out with that lease signing thing? With they were trying to get you in the fast one. Did you take care of that fast one, the 4-year thing, and the next year?
No. I ended up signing for the year.
Oh, Dr. High, come on.
Well, you know, like I have this little piece inside of me that tells me I'll be moving again in a year because of the way it is next year. Right before the new lease, they can increase the cost as much as they want. Right? It's not controlled because the building is less than 5 years old. But it's very difficult to find a place to live from 4 hours away. So, you know, we just wanted to get it.
At least you'll be there and you'll be able to look around and see.
Yeah, exactly. So for next year, right, we can take our time. Like And we'll know what's going on for employment so we can look better at proximities and things like that. So,
Right. And the $1 million will be deposited by the.
well, that's it, right? So we'll be moving on up.
Are you looking for an apartment, or are you looking for a house eventually? Would you prefer to be in a house?
You know what I'd actually really like to do is I'd like to team up with my kids and maybe buy like a 6-unit building where we can all live in that building and still have it as a rental property too, right? And between all of our incomes and that, we should be able to qualify for a building like that. And it would make sense moving forward, right? Because that's one thing about real estate is it usually goes up in value.
That's genius.
So, yeah, my son.
One of those levels is going to have to be for a grow room.
Oh, well, there's just no money in it, right? So to grow for your own.
I didn't mean for sale. I meant for our own participation.
Yeah, but even for your own personal head, right? To set up a room properly, 4 lights and everything you got to do in a regular sized bedroom. I mean, you're in, depending on what you do, but you're in, 15, 20K for sure by the time you're set up, right? And that's not running nutrients, which you have to replace on a regular basis, things like that. So, with the price of cannabis these days here, I don't know if it's worth it, unless it's a hobby.
Right. That's what I'm talking about. A hobby room.
Yeah, which is fun like that,
Right.
It's fun. But like I told you, cultivation isn't really my thing because it takes just too long and I'm not patient enough for cultivating. I know how to do it all because I've done it, but I would rather set up a lab and extract for other people and make products. That would be, for me, what I'd rather do with an extra space. You know what I mean?
I'm not against that either. I like those products as well.
Yeah, if I had the choice between cultivating or extraction and product manufacture, I'd go product manufacture and extraction every time.
Right.
Just appeals to me more. So
I would like to be a taste tester.
Yeah, I have seen jobs posted for that, like newspapers and different media outlets and that, looking in the States for people to use cannabis and then write about it, like almost a cannabis reviewer. You know what I mean? And these jobs do come out from time to time. I've seen them.
That's a job for me. Billy Blaze, if you're still out there, if you need me to test your weed, let me know. I'm here for you.
Yeah. Well, the way you got it pretty good there, Chris, because you don't really have a lot of neighbors.
Concentrate, you guys up there. If you can figure out a way to get it down here, I am a professional taste tester.
See, now when it comes to THC, I'll have to do their taste testing for them and tell you about it.
Oh, no way, bucko.
Well, you got to handle the U.S. side, and I got to handle the Canadian side so that none of us has any problems with that little strip of land in between.
I'm getting screwed here because
I'm just looking out for your well-being, hippie.
We're not even legal here yet completely. I'm getting screwed.
Imagine doing this show where every day it started off with, you have a collect call from a federal inmate, the hippie. You know what I mean? We don't want to start the show like that on a daily.
Plus, you only get like 7 minutes, and then you're under.
Exactly.
You have 3 minutes left.
Yep.
Son of a bitch! I gotta go already.
That's it, right? So we don't want to start shows off like that. So you got to handle the American side.
We're coming live from
from a penal institution near you.
No, I don't do anything illegal.
Nope.
Leave me alone. That's all I said. Leave me alone.
At least not that you'll admit to.
I don't ever admit to nothing.
You got a job interview tomorrow, Garrett. Oh, that's
cool.
Woo!
Tell them you can't work from noon till 2.
That's it.
Noon till 2. That goes for everybody.
You got to run the Stump the Doctor contest.
Quit your jobs, everybody. Hang out here. Anyway.
Oh, that's the thing. I don't know what your season's like there, Chris, but you can do some big things. I was looking at a guy's post this morning. He was someplace in Canada. Oh my God, did he have 4 massive, beautiful plants in his backyard? He was complaining because a storm came through yesterday and it broke off one of his branches because they're so heavy now with bud that just that additional wind, right, can snap them off. Like, and there's nothing more frustrating. When I was working in the grow room, I'm not a little guy, and we had tables that you could close them all together. They had wheels on the end, so you could roll the wheels and you could close all the tables together so that they're all perfectly centered under the canopy. But then when you had to work within the plants, you could spin that wheel the other way and you could open up a gap between the tables so you could move back and forth, right? Because the room was, 40 feet deep and 30 feet wide or something like that. So you had to have access. And when the plants would get really at the end of the cycle, like the last week and a half, it was traumatizing for me working in those rooms because I'm a big guy and I was much wider than the gap in the tables at the shoulder. And I had to be really careful in there.
That's why I'm not allowed in the China shop, Mrs. Hippie says. I'm not allowed to go into the crystal stores. I'm not. She didn't know. She didn't know I went to Bella's. She didn't know if she would have known I went to Bella's, she would have been like, "Here's my girdle. Put this on. Here's my Spanx. Put that on."
Chris, there's always a step ladder. There's always a step ladder. Big plants aren't bad, but you know what you can do, right? You top them right and you train them sideways. And then you could grow a plant that's 5 feet by 5 feet and only 3 feet tall, really, if you wanted to. It's just all about the plant training. You can tie those branches down, and it's pretty cool when you do it, right? You take those first branches, like your bottom ones, Hippie, and you start to slowly train them. So instead of growing up, they're growing sideways. And then all the buds that grow off of there, every branching site grows up.
Go up, right?
Yeah, it all grows up because it all seeks the sun. So basically, what you end up with, it looks like the bottom of a rake if you turned it upside down. You got the flat branch on the bottom, and then you got all the tines from the rake pointing up. But but there's some branches with buds on them.
No fighting over there, you two. Knock it off. Garrett's like, I'm not gonna help you then. Fuck you. You can help me, Garrett.
But you can do a lot of things.
Uncle Roach, stop being mean.
It's pretty versatile, and it'll take some abuse for sure.
Right. Yeah, I was out abusing my plant earlier.
Yeah.
Smarten up. Let's go, grow. I say, you're worthless. You're never going to amount to nothing.
Well, next Monday when you bring the plant in, you got to bring in a pair of scissors.
Sharp ones?
Yeah, sharp ones are better than dull, for sure. But really, for what you're doing, you can do it with your thumbnail. Because you're just going to pinch the top. You're going to stop the upward growth.
What about an X-Acto knife?
Well, you could use an X-Acto knife, but there's really no need. Like we used to get special scalpels for plants.
Right.
And when you're doing stuff on a small scale, that's okay. Like if you're cutting clones off of 10 plants, a scalpel is all right. But if you're cutting clones off 1,000 plants, you're working with scissors. They're just so much easier.
Yeah.
But you're not going to be cutting clones. You're just going to top the plant to stop the upward growth so we can allow that side growth to start to catch up to it. Right. And then you're going to get a better canopy out of it. That's the whole idea.
All right. Let's do this commercial and then we can get this final hour left. We'll be right back.
You're listening live to WTHC Radio on Live 365.
Discover the natural path to wellness at Tailored Herbs and Concentrates. Herbs! With a passion for holistic health, we are your trusted source for premium herbs and concentrates.
Wait a minute, do they have weed?
Our dedicated team is here to guide you on your wellness journey. Open 7 days a week, 10 to 10, ensuring you have access to what you need when you need it most. Tailored Herbs and Concentrates is located at Pot 41, Highway 11, Burnt Church, New Brunswick, Canada. If you need a assistance anytime.
I need assistance. I need weed.
Just call 506-871-4299. Tailored herbs and concentrates.
Where all the potheads go.
Right now, our country feels divided, but there's a place where people are coming together.
I gotta tell you, I was nervous to talk to someone so different than me.
Me too, but I'm glad we are.
Love Has No Labels and One Small Step are helping people with different political views, beliefs, and life experiences come together through conversation, and it feels good.
Wow, your story is so...
Interesting?
Yeah.
When people actually sit down, talk, and listen to one another, they can break down boundaries and connect as human beings. At lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep, you can listen to amazing, life-changing conversations and find simple tools to start a conversation of your own.
I know one thing. This conversation gives me hope.
It gives me a lot of hope too.
Take a step toward bringing our country and your community together by having the courage to start a conversation at lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep. A message from StoryCorps, Love Has No Labels, and the Ad Council.
People do some pretty cool things in their 40s and 50s. Why should saving for retirement be any different? I mean, they go back to college, learn new instruments, start skateboarding.
What?
Okay, maybe that one's not for everybody, but saving for retirement is. With aceyourretirement.org, you can get on track with your retirement savings no matter your age. Just have a 3-minute chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach from AARP. You'll get personalized recommendations based on your input that are easy to understand and work with your lifestyle. It's quick, easy, and free. Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back.
Woohoo! Gnarly move, Dad.
Thanks, sweetie. So wherever you are in your retirement savings journey, head to aceyourretirement.org and start chatting with Avo today. That's aceyourretirement.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
Hey, Mississippi, why don't we take a ride to Dauphin, PA today?
Dauphin? What's in Dauphin?
Bella's Badass Crystals.
Oh, but I thought you hung out with them on Facebook and on TikTok.
That's only on Mondays, Tuesdays, Saturdays, Sundays. I want to go there and pick up all my great finds.
That sounds like a great road trip. That's Bella's Badass Crystals on TikTok and Facebook, but you can also find them on the top of the mountain in Dauphin, PA. They are badass.
WTHC, good afternoon, everybody. It's 1:41 over here, all the way on the East Coast. I want to wake everybody up over there on the West Coast. Good morning. Get ready. It's almost time to wake and bake.
Yeah.
Let's do it, Dr. High. We got like an hour. I don't know what.
Yeah, we got some time. 40 minutes.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm just looking at. I don't know how many of you heard of the Cannabis Training University, but it's like an online. You can take online cannabis courses from it and stuff like that.
Is it the one from St. Joseph's or something like that?
I'm not sure. I don't know exactly where it's from. I don't remember, but it could be. But it's funny. They have a. We'll play a little game for a second. They have a poll today in this post, and it says, "What year do you think cannabis will be made federally legal in the United States, similarly to alcohol or tobacco? Within the next 2 years, within the next 5, within the next 10 years, or not in my lifetime?" What do you guys think out there? What do you think the answer is? I'm going to click my answer right now, and then I'm going to get the results. But let's see from the group who thinks and when they think it'll happen.
I'm going to say not in my lifetime, so click that one for me.
5, yeah. All right, so the results. Within the next 2 years, 31% of the people that responded thought that it would be within the next 2 years. Within the next 5 years, which is what I guessed, 38% of the respondents felt that it would be within the next 5 years.
Well, my lifetime is only for 5 years, so that's what I
within the next 10 years had, hey, very good. It looks like you might even have spelled it right, Garrett. Garrett, I don't even know how you spell Shamalama Ding Dong, but that looks.
Here it is, the secret word. Don't forget, if you're up in that New Brunswick area and you go in and you say, "I heard the word is Shamalama Ding Dong," you're gonna get a free pre-roll. Get your
Yeah.
ass over there.
Should be Shamalama Hippie's new ding dong.
That's right. I do have a new ding dong. It's too
There you
big. I can't get my dress up around it. Damn it.
You know you're going to pee on yourself, and you're going to burn yourself with the joint if you're not careful.
Ah!
That's not a spot you want to do that.
It's caught up in my dress. All I can see is my balls out. God damn it.
Oh, that's funny.
It's a curse to be so large, I'll tell you.
Yes. Yes, I'm
loud.
sure there are some out there that can attest to that issue.
Yes, it's not.
I am not one of them, unfortunately, but I'm sure there are many who can.
I'm the one. I've seen the big guy. He can't do it either.
And the final answer, not in my lifetime, that was answered by 8% of the respondents.
What? What
Yeah.
are these old people not thinking that they're gonna die or something? Hello.
I don't know. But
my lifetime is that maybe the next 20 years. So I mean,
well, in this poll, at this point in time, there are 320 votes, and those are the results as we sit.
All right, so we surveyed the top 320 results. Says 8%.
Yeah. Here is another one.
Okay.
This could be interesting.
Good, let's do this.
Now, this is Brett Puffenbarger, who's well known in the Canadian cannabis industry. He says, let's talk about the politics of pot. When it comes to the people who work in the cannabis industry, do you think it's primarily left, right, or center? What about consumers? How about as a voting bloc in general? I've long assumed that it's primarily on the left, yet the longer I spend in the space, the more I see right-wing and libertarian ideals being espoused. I find it to be a very interesting dynamic. I'm not interested in what you personally are. I'm not interested in having a political debate go down. I'm purely asking how we collectively view the community in terms of political makeup. So the question is, do you think the cannabis industry is more Republican, Democrat, or libertarian, or other? What do you folks think out there? I'm going to guess Democrat.
If I were to guess, I would say it leans to the left. Yes, Democrat.
I'm going to guess. Okay, so here are the results. Republicans, 8%. Very low. Very low here. And this has 400 votes. Democratic and liberal, 43%. Libertarian,
half the world.
Yeah, libertarian is 33%. And other, I don't know what other would really be.
Green Party, Ralph Nader, the Green Party.
Satanist, maybe, the Green Party, I don't know. But they got 15% of the vote somehow.
Right.
And they're unidentified. They're non-binary, I guess. It's that segment of the population. So that was interesting.
Yes, very interesting. But I mean, I felt that way from the beginning. You know, like I just feel like the green side leans left. You know,
Yeah, I guess.
I thought it was a little more less of a lean. That's more of a whole. My God, I'm laying down left. But whatever, you know.
Yeah, I would think that it's more liberal, more open-minded individuals.
Let's
for
go,
sure.
Just wake up.
But you know what? I bet you very, very. I bet, you know, because realistically, I'm going to say that 90%, no, maybe 85% of people in our age group have tried cannabis at least one time. I think it's a very high number of people who've at least tried.
Beg to differ. I think that 85% have tried it more than once.
Well, it could be very possible. I don't know. I mean, I'm just guessing, right? But
yeah, no, I know.
My guess is that if it is 85%, then that means everybody equally pretty much across the board has had some cannabis experience and has, you know, seen. If
Well,
not,
you know how they say like everybody has had some sort of effect of alcoholism or some sort of effect of meth or heroin or something like that, and you know,
What do you mean? Like in their life, they've known somebody,
Yeah, like
or
they've known somebody, or they, it's the same thing with weed, man. Now, come on, everybody's had somebody that's been affected by weed.
Oh, I think if you're talking about people who know people who've smoked weed, I think you're at 100%. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think there's an individual in the United States
in
or
your
Canada.
family. Weed is in every family in America, or even it might be your great nephew from down in Louisiana area, for all I know, but it's somebody in your family is smoking weed, whether you like it or not. Whether you're red, you're blue, you're green, you're white, you're red,
Yeah, it don't
yellow.
matter. We're all green. It's the
Well,
predominant
that's what I was saying the other day. We should just have a green and be like, fuck everybody else. We're green.
Well, imagine, right? If
just make our own rules like the government does anyway.
Yeah.
We'll just follow our own rules and tell them to go fuck themselves.
Look, I was just reading an article about
me for president.
Legalization in the Philippines. Now, the Philippines is very hard on drugs. Like, you can be put to death over there for drugs. You know what I mean? Like, they're really, really serious about it. And they've just done a big survey because they're looking at legalizing medicinally. So it's in their government process now. They're looking at the potential. And 66% of the people in the Philippines feel that cannabis should be legal for medicinal use. You know what I mean? So even in a country that's very anti-cannabis, a majority of the population believes that people should have access to it.
Yeah, and listen to this. Think about this. If 66% of the people were willing to say yes, that they feel like it, there's that other 100% that didn't want to say anything because they're afraid they're going to get killed.
Well, I mean, there might be people who don't answer honestly, right, to something like that. They're concerned,
a lot
right?
of people do that with a lot of things in the world.
Yep.
Like you just have to answer because it was pounded in your head that you had to do it this way.
Yeah, I mean, especially over there. And
Especially like in politics. I feel like in politics, you're whatever your family is. It's passed down and it's pounded into your head. And if you actually open your eyes and look at the other side, and that goes for both sides. And if everybody would just open their damn eyes and stop listening to what your parents said, and make your own decisions for yourself, maybe a lot of this shit wouldn't be going on. But whatever.
Right. And
I'm just a hippie.
Generation to generation, it changes too because the world changes. Right. So what was applicable back in 1960 and 70 for your parents might not be applicable now for you.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you kind of have to, and I don't think there's really any winning when it comes to politics anyway. Like, I don't think we can make the right decision anymore because it's all kind of the same.
Too far gone.
Yeah. Like it's kind of gone past the point of being helped, but you got to kind of stand up, right? You have to believe in something, and the more people that stand up for that and are open about it, then the more opportunity there has for that to become normal. Just with cannabis,
Yeah, and too many other topics.
See, Garrett says that his dad was a cop for more than 10 years.
Yeah. Well, I was just gonna say to him PTSD probably has a lot to do with that. He needs it for he's seen a lot of fucked up shit. No matter where you're a cop, no matter what goes on in your world, you got issues. Because
I mean, and you got to deal with it, right? Like we used to have when we were young, we used to have the scanners, right? The police scanners. We could listen to the cops in Detroit.
I was a firefighter, so I still have that scanner. They gave me mine when my crash happened. They said you can keep it, listen, and hang out and listen to us when we go out.
That's it.
And I would sit. I was only a firefighter for almost 3 years, just under 3 years, maybe even less than that, because I'm high and I don't remember. But I seen shit that I don't ever want to see again. And in fact, in my accident, the guy who hit me died.
Yeah.
And I seen that. I see that every time I close my eyes. I see that man's face because it's the last thing I saw before the truck ended up on top of me. The engine ended up on top of me, whatever.
Right.
it's scary shit, man. PTSD is some fucked up shit.
Well, that's it, right? And they're the first responders. I mean, they're the people who see the worst of it and end up with those memories.
Oh, we got a question. Wee woo, wee woo, wee woo. Alert, news alert, news alert. We have a question from Tailored Herbs and Concentrates.
Anita Dick in me, huh? That's funny.
Oh, no, the question.
No, I'm looking at the name of the questionnaire of the person possessing the question. Anita Dick in me.
Oh, I didn't read the sentence. I didn't read it. I just figured you were reading it. And you were
It's actually contrary to what you're saying. Edibles consumed on an empty stomach aren't absorbed as well as it is with food, especially a fatty food.
Well, young man, tell him, young
Edibles
man.
and pizza together with the fats from the cheese and all that. I mean, that helps the delivery. So actually, cannabis edibles are best consumed around the time of consuming food, right? So maybe a little bit before, 15 minutes before dinner, take your edible, have your meal, and then everything will roll into one. So it's actually the
Isn't edibles a meal?
Opposite, huh?
Isn't that contradicting yourself? Isn't edibles a meal?
Well, not usually. It might be for some. I guess if you got 10 milligram edibles and you need 1,000 milligrams to get high, then it might be a meal.
Did I tell you that
Steve.
at the show? Good day, Steve. At the show, at the concert, at the show, at the Muck Sticky Festival, OVDJ Camp Out phenomenon. Oh my God. So our friends at Goohoo, and I know that it was a mistake because it was really a waste, but he was like trying to give away some of their gummies that they had made. And they were fucking delicious. I'll tell you that. Whatever they were made, they were delicious. Whatever they made them out of, shout out to Goohoo because man, they were really good. But I was stoned, and they were good, and I knew that they weren't going to work, but I overwent it, and I ate 7 of them, and nothing happened, but they were really, really delicious. Shout out to them again.
Making your own gummies is so simple. When I make gummies for myself, I do it with Jell-O gelatin.
Yeah.
So I'll get a box of Jell-O, and I'll make the Jell-O as per the instructions. The only thing I'll do differently is I'll add 4 packets of gelatin. So of real gelatin, non-flavored gelatin. I add 4 packets of that to the Jell-O gelatin recipe. And then when they cool, they're just like gummies. They use a little castor sugar on them or whatever to keep them from sticking together in the bags. But I actually have the molds and the pipette for
little DoktorHigh heads.
No, they're gummy bears. They're the shape of gummy bears.
Aww.
Yeah, they're all little silicone molds. And I used to do 300 at a time. Make 300 gummies at a time, but it's really so easy to do.
I thought you were going to eat 300 at a time. I was like, you're not doing a very good job.
I was making them 20 milligrams a piece. So,
yeah. And our friend Billy Blaze came over at one point, and I didn't abuse him because I love him. He came over and he brought some edibles over and he offered them to everybody, and everybody was so generous to just grab in there and take everything from Billy Blaze, left them with a box of nothing. But he asked me if I wanted it, and I said, no, thank you, sir. I appreciate the offer, but they don't work for me.
Yeah, I mean, if they don't work, and you're pretty sure they don't work because you've tried it so many times and no results, right? So
my daughter just said that they were really good too, so she got off on them.
Yeah,
I did not.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, most people do.
If you're normal, but I'm not normal. We know that.
But not everybody does. And then, of course, the degree to which you do or the dose that you need to actually have the experience is widely varied. You know what I mean? From some people at 5 milligrams to some people at 500 or more. Like we talked about yesterday, 4,000 milligram chocolate bars. People looking for those because they eat the whole damn thing. For me, that's crazy.
Did you answer Anita Dickami's full question? because I'm stoned. And
Yeah, about consuming edibles on an empty stomach. Yeah, no, edibles should be consumed with food for the best result. It's basically that. The absorption is better when
that was
the
where we got
body's
off.
in the
That's
food,
where
right?
we got off because aren't edibles food?
Well, they are food.
That's
but
what I meant before. Like you're like eat edibles on a full stomach or with food.
Right,
But
because when you
edibles are
eat food, right, your body gets into that digestive mode. So your stomach is more open, your intestine is more open to absorbing things, nutrients, and all that sort of stuff. So with the edible in there at the same time, it's while your body's actively in that digestion phase, which you wouldn't get from eating a gummy, right? Or two gummies. Your absorption is going to be much slower because your body's not in that absorption mode, right? With just something small like that. So yeah,
stoner kick.
From what I understand and from my own personal experience and through many years of just with this kind of discussion with people, that on with food is a better absorption and a more rapid onset and a more complete.
I, sir, am never gonna doubt you. So whatever you say goes. I mean, that's you're the rule maker. But like for me, I'm just fucked.
Yeah, sadly for you, you don't get the experience from edibles. So
stupid guts, stupid belly.
But like I was saying, it's really weird, right? Because 40 milligrams is enough for me. I'm content.
Yeah, I don't know if Billy's still here, and I don't think he is. But Billy, if you are still here, how many milligrams was that? Those things you gave us Monday morning? Because my daughter said they were good. They were.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing about edibles, right? When the dose is too high, they're not necessarily a pleasant experience, and when the dose is too low, you're not really experiencing anything. So it's really about figuring out for you at what level it works to be comfortable. Like I know for me, I don't want to get to 100 milligrams because at 100 I'm not happy. If I'm getting on a flight,
I get so confused when you say that. And you've said that before, and I'm gonna reprimand you now because I don't like that. You're down talking marijuana, and I don't like it, young man.
I'm just talking about my own personal experience, right? And others.
I don't understand. Like, how high is too high? I don't know if I've ever found too high. Like, I mean, I guess when you pass out and you fall asleep because you're stoned, but I feel like that's because I'm bored and I'm sitting on a couch and I'm watching TV and I'm high and I fall.
When the dose is too high with edibles, it can induce anxiety. It can induce heart palpitation, like a more rapid.
If you're not paying attention, if you're not paying attention to what you're eating, I guess. But if you know it's an indica, it's not going to cause that kind of stuff. No.
No, I don't think it matters indica or sativa when you're taking edibles, because the edibles that I make from distillate.
I don't know. Right, like I don't know. Like
it's just a dose that for me is beyond. Now, let's say I'm flying to my dad's place. I'm going to visit him. It's a 4.5-hour flight. I like to take 80 milligrams for a flight like that because basically I get on the plane. By the time we take off, I'm just about ready to fall asleep. I'll throw a movie on the screen, and the next thing you know, I'm waking up and I'm half an hour from my destination, right? So 80 will put me to sleep real nice. But if I want to sit around and watch TV, then 40, 50 milligrams tops. If I have to, let's say I wanted to go out to a concert or a show or something like that, then I would only take 20 in an edible dose, and I would smoke a joint when I was where I wanted to be, right? When I'm at the event.
We have another question coming in from Tailored Herbs and Concentrates.
Hey, Jenny, how are you? Okay, so when it comes to RSO,
smoking Lou.
If you're on a medical regimen, let's say you're dealing with cancer or you're dealing with something of that nature. Now, you would use a different regimen if you were using RSOs to deal with chronic pain, right, on a regular basis, daily for a long time. But on the regimen that RSO is pretty much designed for, it's 90 grams in 60 days. So it's very intense. But if you're going through chemotherapy and you're dealing with things like that, this will help find some release. And there's evidence to show that this can stop tumor growth and can interfere with the blood supply to a tumor that allows it to grow, and it can cause apoptosis of the cells, which is actually cell death. But this is how RSO should be used. If you're beginning an RSO treatment regimen, you should be taking a piece about a squeeze out from the syringe about the size of a grain of rice. So your first dosing should be about the size of a grain of rice. You can put it inside a little piece of bread or something like that, because it doesn't taste all that great. So if you can get it into just a little piece of bread that you can roll up and put into a ball and swallow, it's perfect. And you should be doing that 3 times a day. So basically every 8 hours. And you have to slowly begin to ramp up your dose. And it gets intense because you're going to get to a point where you're taking a full syringe a day. And that's going to knock you out. A lot of people it does. And try to stick with RSOs that are made from indicas. They're more effective for some reason.
Dr.
And I
High,
hope that answers your question, Jenny.
I have to interrupt for a second.
Yep.
We have a special guest in the crowd. This is Louis the 13th.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Mrs. Hippie.
Oh, no.
How you doing, Louis?
She's special as well, but in a different kind of way.
So Louis was the DJ at the
Louis was the OV DJ camp out. This was his family's land, part of, however it worked. I don't know.
Okay.
He is Louis the 13th. It's Louis the 13th, everybody. Pick him up. Grab him if you don't have him already. Louis, I want to have you on whenever you're ready. Please let me know. We'll have you up and we'll talk all about OVDJ and how great it was and what the plans for the future are. Please let me know. You have an open invitation, my friend. Open invitation. Dr. High, it is 2:06. What's your plans? My daughter is very frustrated right now, I have to tell you.
Why?
Because the Wi-Fi has been giving us an issue all day. She can't even figure out why I'm on and she can't get on her computer. So she's about to call and rip the Wi-Fi company apart. And
These Wi-Fi companies are nuts, right?
She's ready. She's just sitting here waiting for me to get off the air so she can go and tell them to fix whatever the issue is. So I
don't get them. I was just having a conversation with my wife this morning because we've obviously canceled our internet for this location, right?
Right.
So we've set them up to cut it off on the 30th of the month. I've already paid them their final payment and everything, but I have their modem. So they said, when my wife called up to make the arrangements, they said, we'll send you a box to mail your modem back. So I'm like, perfect, no problem. I don't even use their modem because it wasn't effective in my house. I actually bought my own modems, but I'll send theirs back. So we've been looking in the mail for this box to come so I can package it up and get rid of it, because that's how they nail you like $700-800, right? They don't get it back. Right. So, but no box. And my wife did this cancellation almost a month ago. So I said to her yesterday, I said, call them up and find out where that damn box is, because I don't want to have to be bothered to call the bank and put a stop on them trying to take another payment out next month, right? I want to make sure this is concluded.
It's over.
So when she calls them, they said, well, we haven't sent the box yet. So my wife's like, we're leaving in like a week and a half. Where's the box? Oh, we can't send the box out until we terminate your service. So what kind of stupid idiot are you? We're terminating our service on the last day. What do you think? We're terminating a week before we leave so we can sit in the house, twirling our thumbs for a week? It's the very last minute we're cutting the internet. And then by the time you send the box, I'm out of here. What are you doing?
Right. Yeah, you just keep the box. Don't worry about it.
No, because I don't want to end up with that on my credit, right? The next thing you know is they'll try and charge me for the box. I will not pay. And then I got these assholes sitting on my credit report for the next, 6 or 7 years. And I don't need that crap. So,
that's a good point. I guess that's a good point. I would just sell it at a yard sale.
No, they're useless.
Send them that money and be like, yo, that's all you get, bro.
Yeah.
Sorry.
it's really.
You didn't send me the box in time. All right. We
Really?
got to get out of here, Mrs. Hippie. We got to get out of here because Mrs. Hippie's here and she's already yelling at me. She's only been here a couple minutes.
All right.
This is why I deal with everything, Hippie. This is why, right? The agreement we made. Anyway,
Nice.
I want to thank every single one of you for being here. Louis, thank you so much. When you're ready, let me know. We'll have you. We have an extra box. It comes up right here in the bottom down here next to us. And we'll have you up. You can sit and chill and hang out with us if you're still here. And we'll talk about OVDJ and what a success it was, and how the future of OVDJ and what you got going on. I want to thank Billy Blaze, of course, for being here and everything that he's been doing. He's been blowing us up over there in Ohio. That's why I'm moving to Ohio. Besides the song "4 Dead in Ohio," that's the only thing that scares me. We were driving down that scary road in the dark at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I was singing
What,
it.
you're Kent State?
No, going up into Jacobsburg, wherever. I don't know where the hell.
Okay.
I was stoned. We were driving, and it was dark, and it was windy going up to the to where the camp out was. I just kept singing "4 Dead in Ohio." Anyway, everybody out there, thank you so very much, Dr. High. Tell them what you think.
About?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Tell them what you tell them every day. Peace, love, and hippie hugs, or whatever you say.
I don't ever say peace, love, and hippie hugs. I just say stay safe and stay stoned.
Right.
Have a great day. Thanks for spending some time with us today. We really appreciate the fact that you make time in your day to hang out with us and ask questions and interact. And you know what I mean? Like if it wasn't for you guys, there'd be no point in doing it, really. So
right. Thank you to Tailored Herbs and Concentrates. Remember,
those questions coming.
Shamalama Ding Dong is the word of the day. If you go there today and you tell them you heard Shamalama Ding Dong, or you can just walk in and tell potheads, Shamalama Ding Dong, baby.
And tomorrow, word of the day will be play with hippies ding dong.
Oh, it's not well, Mrs. Hippie's here. You're gonna get me in trouble. Nobody plays with my ding dong. Nobody, Mrs. Hippie. Everybody relax. And if you do play with my ding dong like Lori, don't say nothing.
Don't say nothing, eh?
I love you all. Have a wonderful day. Thank you, and peace, love, hippie hugs.
Have a great day, everybody. See you tomorrow.
All right. I'm out of here.
Was that a fur ball?
Yeah. We still got to work on that. We took care of the penis problem, but now we got to work on the fur balls in the throat.
The fur balls.
Yeah.